Terraria's new final update 1.4.5 has been in development for a while now, and the first thing we learn is that it will contain crossover content with the game Dead Cells. Now, at the time of the announcement, I actually hadn't played the game yet, but I'm already grateful to the update because I've played it and it's really good. Throughout my time checking out the game, in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, what would I take from Dead Cells? And how would I bring it to Terraria? And today, that's what I want to talk about. Now, keep in mind, I've only played about 30 hours of Dead Cells. It has a bunch of different difficulty modes. I've only played on normal, and therefore, I haven't seen some of the very end game content, but I've seen a good chunk of it. Before we discuss what they might add, I think it's worth setting expectations for how large 1.4.5 might actually be. You see, when Terraria's done crossover content in the past, it seems to be that for both games, it's a pretty equal amount of content. When they crossed over with Dungeon Defenders 2, they got the Eye of Cthulhu, and we got the Old Ones Army, and we also got Betsy. When they crossed over with Don't Starve got the Eye of Cthulhu, the twins, some weapons, and I believe some outfits as well. It's been a while. And we got Deerclops, we got outfits, we got weapons, and a new secret seed. But when it comes to Dead Cells, well, Dead Cells have already implemented their side of this crossover, and it's kinda small. If you haven't seen it, Dead Cells added in a mini corruption biome to the opening area of the game. This is something that you encounter the once, and it unlocks the Star Fury. They also added a new vanity outfit inspired by Terraria, and I want to talk about that really quickly because it's haunted me for months. When I covered that announcement in a news video, I read their blog post word for word, and they called it the guide. This is not the guide. Now that I've played it, I'm like, what? And people have been asking me why I called it the guide for months. Honestly, I swear, it was in their blog post. Now, for Dead Cells, this seems to be their standard crossover size. They've done a bunch of different crossovers, all of them really cool, but it doesn't extend past this. It's not like they're taking bosses from other games. That being said, my gut says that 1.4.5 probably won't be this giant crossover. It will likely be maybe a couple of weapons, maybe some outfits, but I will talk about bosses. Choosing a weapon from Dead Cells that I'd want to see in Terraria actually turned out to be pretty hard because my favorite weapons when playing the game were actually weapons from other games. But I do have a couple weapons to talk about, and the first one is the Frantic Sword. Now, I did have a little look on the Dead Cells Reddit, and it seems like most people seem to see this as the most iconic Dead Cells weapon. To me, it was just kind of a sword. It's very flashy. My personal favorite weapon, though, which I just enjoyed using because it was so flash, is the Symmetrical Lance. I think this thing just looks so cool. It kind of reminds me of the Breaker Blade that we already have in Terraria, but with that spinning ability, that kind of reminds me of some of the weapons that we got in the Old Ones Army event. Truth be told, it's a bit of a shame that we already have the Waffle Iron. Listen, I'm sorry, because the Vorpan, the frying pan, to me is what I see as the iconic Dead Cells weapon. I don't know, there aren't many games where you just hit people with a frying pan, and I think this would actually be a pretty fun addition in Terraria. One addition I do think would be fun, though, is the Mushroom Boy. This is like a piece of equipment, and it's a little mushroom that fights for you. If you use it again, it explodes, and it's kind of gory, and just fun. Like, I feel like this would make a fun summoning weapon in Terraria. But moving on from weapons, if I had to pick an outfit from Dead Cells, I'm just going to go with the one you start with. I actually think it's really cool, and I feel like the Terraria artists would do a very good job of bringing this one to the game. Now, we already have the Apprentice Scarf in Terraria, which looks kind of similar, but you do a lot of rolling in Dead Cells, and it would be cool if we had an accessory that allowed us to roll as well. Kind of like a Shield of Cthulhu, but remixed. And the idea that I had in my head is that if you had the iconic red scarf, maybe this is just because I like the clothier, maybe that would give you the ability. Maybe that would be the accessory. Picking a boss to bring from Dead Cells, for me, was just really hard. The thing about Dead Cells is that you fight every single boss in an arena, and now for Terraria, we only have that once, and that's Golem. And just based on how big I think this update will be, I don't see them adding an arena for a boss. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I did pick a boss out, and that has to be Conjunctivitis. Terraria already has an eyeball motif. We all know that with the Eye of Cthulhu. And I feel like Conjunctivitis would just fit right in. If we were to get some pets from Dead Cells, I feel like little miniature versions of the bosses would be pretty neat. And also, if they don't want to add the Summoner's Weapon, I feel like the Mushroom Boy would make a really cool pet. Like I said though, I haven't seen all of Dead Cells, so if you're a big fan of the game, let me know in a comment down below what you would add to Terraria. Before I go, Terraria.shop launched these new blind box figurines. I think they're really cool. If you want to grab them, make sure to use code Chippy, that's an affiliate code, and you'll save 15%. Or you can go to Terraria.shop/Chippy. Just a quick one today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.